From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022, as those MSCs from third stimulus have now landed. Viewers have gotten those third stimulus MSC checks in their hands. I'll show you how to get them in today's recording. And fourth stimulus checks have landed as well, $15,000 to $80,000. Huge sums of money. I'll show you how to get them live on air on Mornings today for March 26, 2022. We'll be looking at the sixth stimulus package heating up in April, caused by Vladimir Putin. The latest details on that sixth stimulus package, and boy, there's a reason why you watch this channel, because everything that I said Joe Biden is putting into the sixth stimulus package will be happening, he said in the last 48 hours. Oil, wheat, and also the Xi equation, all mentioned by the president or his team in the last 48 hours, confirming my reporting of no less than 3 weeks. Then we look to the breaking details of a seventh stimulus package. Yes, student loan debt forgiveness heating up. Huge details across the board. That student loan debt forgiveness going to a vote, going to a determination by May 2nd. Wow. Huge details in today's recording. Then we'll be looking at SS300 to raise your benefits up because of you need it. But what about the inflationary concerns that are at issue? We'll have the latest analysis on what Powell is and isn't doing on that front. Then, as the United States welcomes the president back to our shores, what is he going to do next? Another round of CR. Boy, this is because he got no money for COVID, and this could potentially have more checks in there as well for you. We have a lot in today's recording, a lot of money and a lot of breaking news. And then in the very final minutes of this video, we'll have a preview of tonight's Evenings LA broadcast in prime time at 5 o'clock. You do not want to miss it. It's a huge show tonight. America's most watched show for financial news in prime time. And stay to the very end of this video because I have a surprise for you. It's a huge one coming up later in this video. But in today's video, we have a lot of money. We have the third stimulus checks paying out. We have the fourth stimulus checks paying out. And then we have the SS300 just days away, the sixth stimulus as well, and the seventh stimulus just days after that. Big money, big day, big recording. I'm excited you're here from the shores of Santa Monica to the shores of the Black Sea. It's a big morning's broadcast because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and the bacon's still missing. But you can't hope for everything. Reoccurring bacon stimulus? I don't know. We try our best. The details heat up as a big morning's broadcast starts right here, right now, for March 26, 2022. Let's get to it. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's getting cool here in Southern California today, but I hope the weather is better where you are. It was blistering hot yesterday, and today it's cold. In this big recording, we have a lot of money at issue. Wow, it's just so exciting. What a big recording we have today. The third stimulus MSC checks have now landed. Have you got to them? I'll show you how to get them. It's really incredible. Then those four stimulus checks, $15,000 to $80,000 have landed. Law. Paid out. Joe sent them out. Have you got to them? I'll have the latest details in today's recording. Then we go to that sixth stimulus package. I'm really excited for you because guess what? Every single thing that is covered in six stimulus on this channel for nearly a month, Joe Biden confirmed in less than 48 hours. Wow, that's why you watch this channel. Then we'll be looking at the seventh stimulus package. That is student loan debt forgiveness going to a March 2nd. Huge date. It's huge. It's a big deadline. The White House confirming. I have the latest details on that. Then we have an update about CR with another round from Joe Biden, and we have an update about that SS300. Then we have new details about where new money would be coming from thereafter. Oh boy, we have a big recording. And we have a new push for the Build Back Better Act. Oh yes, I told you there's a lot into today's recording. We're going to start first with the Build Back Better Act, which is not a law. It's currently in the Senate. That pays you about $15,000 to $80,000. Let's look at the three clusters and three add-ons. Coming up tonight in prime time, I go over more of these checks in detail. In that first cluster, we have hazard pay, and also we have the $4,000 of elder care. We got one more year of the CTC, $3,600. We get checks for $550 for college students if they're on the Pell Grant, and then $12,500 for an electric vehicle, plus home repairs if you live in a low-income community. The first add-on of checks in the Build Back Better is $25,000 for the purchase of your first home. Yes, there's a lot of money in this Build Back Better that concerns the home. More about that in a second. That's part of today's breaking news. Then, here we go. More items about the home. Home repairs and paid leave. Paid leave is a lot of money. $4,000 to $6,000 a year. And these home repairs are to weatherize your home. The second add-on of checks, just less than $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. And then when we go to that third cluster checks, lots of money. Deliciousness. We got free internet for all checks, farmers checks, independent contractors checks, and then seniors, lots of checks for you. Dental, vision, hearing aid, Medicaid gap fix, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, and no less than a half dozen of different items for my seniors, which is par for the course when we're talking about adding checks to this big Build Back Better Act. The other checks they would add in there are MSCs. Who gets these Build Back Better MSC checks? Tune in tonight to Evenings LA, America's most watched show in prime time for financial news. It's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We'll go over those MSC for stimulus in that recording. But it's the same as a third. A single individual, $75,000 less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. How much of checks? The legislators represent to the viewership of this channel that they would be giving a monthly stimulus check for 6 months. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. There you go. That is 6 months. Now, later in this recording, we are going to go over another MSC that is now landed. Fourth stimulus, not a law. Currently a bill in the Senate. But third stimulus is law. And third stimulus has now paid the viewers of this channel MSCs. It started less than 2 weeks ago. Have you gotten it? Stay with me. I'm going to show you how to get it. The average payout is not 6 checks. The average payout is 12 checks. The average payout is not $1,000. The average payout is $2,000. It's huge. 2,000, 12 months of checks. Third stimulus MSCs. It's huge. It's coming up later in this video. Stay with me. Also coming up later in this video is that fourth stimulus add-on law. Build Back Better, not a law. It's a bill. Still in the Senate. But the President of the United States, he has the ability to pass laws, and he did. 4 Fridays ago. It's a $15,000 to $80,000 fourth stimulus check, and viewers have gotten it. Have you gotten it? If you haven't, stay with me. But first, become a member. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. It's incredible. It's coming up later in this video. Now, let's take a look at what's heating up with that CR. Very fascinating. The CR passed 3 weeks ago. Had no money in there for COVID, and did have money for county stimulus. Reach out to your local counties. But what the president's going to do when he returns from Brussels this week is he's going to introduce another piece of legislation, because guess what? The dominant strain of Omicron now has a subvariant of Omicron. And that would likely be the next dominant strain in the United States. Joe Biden won some money in that last CR for COVID. He got nothing. So he's coming back with another round, and that could potentially have a $2,000 stimulus check in there. More about that later in this video. Also heating up is the big SS300. SS300 was a campaign promise from Joe Biden, the part of his platform at joebiden.com. Swapping cola for inflation. You want to make that swap right now because inflation is still at its highest price point. It tracked at 8% for the month of December, as I had predicted all last year. Then tracked at 8% for January, as I predicted last year. And it's not yet coming down, but it will come down because of who? Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve. Jay Powell's job is to reduce inflation. He does it by raising interest rates. Let's go over the analysis. The current situation right now is the 10-year Treasury note is trading higher because the bond traders think that it's actually a little bit higher than 8% inflation. Good. So if Joe made that swap from cola to inflation right now in late March, we're good. Early April, I think we're also good. I also think we're good if Joe makes a swap for cola to inflation late April. Remember, when you make swap from cola to inflation right now, you get it $200 more per month. Not just this month, not just this year, lifetime. Then if it tracks at 4% inflation later this year, that would be additional $100. That's SS300. But what about late April? What about early May? This is where it becomes problematic. Let's go over the analysis right now. Jay Powell has now pivoted in recent days, saying, I'm going to potentially come in harder, stronger, with half basis point in the April FOMC meeting. If that's the case, inflation could drop dramatically, which would not be $200 more per month. So remember, it takes about 30 days before this filters through the system. You want Joe to make that swap right now before inflation drops to 6% or lower. And then Jay Powell said in his latest comments at that FOMC meeting that he doesn't think inflation will get to 4% later this year, which is what he said a month ago. Now he says 1.9%. Oh boy, 1.9% is not $100. That's like $20. So hashtag Joe make the phone call. Hashtag Joe make the call. I'll have more about this analysis later in this video. But what's important to understand is that if Joe made that phone call right now, that would lock in $200 more per month. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, or veterans benefits. And then if it came into 4% inflation later this year, that would be another $100 lifetime SS300. But you don't want to wait, because now it becomes a little problematic as we go into May later this year, because guess what? Jay is trying to reduce that inflation by raising interest rates. I'll have more about that analysis later in this video. Now, let's look at the incredible success stories. The incredible success stories have really gone left and right on this channel. And it's third stimulus MSC checks and fourth stimulus $80,000 checks. Absolutely incredible. I want to take it back a step, slow it down so you follow along with me right now. What you need to know is that there's a lot of pieces of legislation happening at the same time. And I want to show you that if you're a renter or a homeowner, I have big checks for you. And it's absolutely astronomical. First, we're going to go over both of them in general. Then I'll go over the specifics. And after the commercial break, we'll go over each of them one at a time. Third stimulus became a law last year. And in becoming a law last year, you may have gotten a $14 stimulus check. Well, now, third stimulus is still paying out. And it's paying out to the members of this channel. MSCs, monthly stimulus checks, averaging $2,000 a month for 12 months. This is astronomical. Yes, this is more than Build Back Better, which is not a law and would also give those checks in the future. They propose under fourth stimulus 6 checks. But on the third stimulus, the viewers are averaging out 12 checks. Who can get it? Renters and homeowners. It's coming up later in this video. Then, fourth stimulus, huge. Fourth stimulus Build Back Better Act, not a law, as a bill. It's currently in the Senate. The Build Back Better is not law. But fourth stimulus has an add-on that is law. The President of the United States is in the executive branch, and he can pass laws. And he did 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, he passed a law. And that is the homeowner's grant. For purposes of this recording, that's what I call it. It pays out $15,000 to $80,000 for homeowners. So in the second half of this video, we have these big sums of money. First, we have $15,000 to $80,000 checks that viewers are getting from that homeowner's grant. Members, become a member. The link is at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. For renters and homeowners, we have those MSC checks. Yes, absolutely incredible. Averaging $2,000 for 12 months. What's next? 6 stimulus goes to a head in early April. It's big money for you. It's the biggest stimulus package of a generation. It's bigger than the first stimulus package and it's bigger than anything else. Then we have the student loan debt forgiveness. We have new breaking details as the president has teed it up himself as a May 2nd deadline to determine on how much student loan debt to forgive or to roll it over for a delay to analyze the situation. And we have breaking news from the Obama administration about this today as well. This is 7th stimulus. What's important to understand when you watch these recordings is that stimulus packages overlap. Third and fourth currently paid. 6 would go to a head in April. 7th go to a head in May. This stimulus for seniors, part of it getting bifurcated with that SS300 heating up right now. That's right now. But boy, the second half has a lot of exciting details. And I have a big surprise for you. As this channel approaches its 2-year anniversary on April 25th, 2022, we got a surprise for you this weekend. I teed it up and gave you a teaser of it last night on Evenings LALATE in prime time, but tonight we got more for it. It's coming up in the second half of this video. Meantime, big developing details with Vladimir Putin and that Brussels conference with the President of the United States, signaling that big money could be coming to the United States and big money to American workers. You're going to be very excited. But first, here's the community page, the member community page. As we go into the big second half, get ready. Become a member during the commercial break and get ready in the second half for those big checks. Third stimulus MSC checks and fourth stimulus $15,000 to $80,000. It's a big morning broadcast. We're just getting started. As the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and the coffee is brewing. I'll see you back in 60 seconds, but first here's a little bit about the member community page and get ready for those third MSC checks and that big fourth stimulus $80,000 checks. See you back in 60 seconds as Mornings LA live on air continues this big day for March 26, 2022.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in the big second half, live on air for March 26, 2022. Welcome Brandy to the family. She became a Purple Hawk, a member during the commercial break. And welcome Rina, who also became a member during the commercial break. If you want to become a member, the link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over those big third stimulus MSC checks which have landed. You haven't gotten it? I'll show you how to get it. It's huge. Then we'll go over the big checks for members getting from that big fourth stimulus, $15,000 to $80,000 checks. Huge details. I got a big surprise later in this video. And then we're going to go over all the details of that sixth stimulus, that seventh stimulus, the SS300. But first, we're going to step back to the Build Back Better Act. The Build Back Better Act has a new support today, and that new support is the data coming out of the housing industry. When you look at that Build Back Better Act with those $15,000 to $80,000 of checks in those three clusters, did you notice something? Yeah, there's a lot of checks in there for homeowners. Home repairs if you live in a low-income community, or weatherize your home, or purchase a first home, or more. Well, the Democrats are likely to use the new economic data that came in the last 24 hours from the housing market to push the Build Back Better Act. The data was really bad. It showed that housing starts fell 4.1% in February compared to January, and that this was the fourth consecutive month where data showed the starts were lower. Less people buying homes for the fourth month in a row. Guess what? The data is going to get worse because on Friday, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate, when you buy a home, get a mortgage, jumped 24 basis points to 5%. People will not be buying homes at a 5% mortgage compared to a 2% mortgage just a few months ago. So this is big, compelling news. The Democrats are already using oil as a way to get Build Back Better passed. Sound a little bit contradictory? It is, because oil is for six stimulus, but they're also going to use it to pass Build Back Better. So that's number one. Build Back Better will heat up with this new economic data. Also heating up is as soon as the president lands back in the White House in Washington, D.C. from Brussels in the next few hours, he's going to push for that new CR. Jen Psaki, the president's press secretary, said that if we had extra money for COVID, we'd be moving it. Our assessment is we need additional funding. They need it. Guess what? That subvariant to Omicron is now going to become the dominant strain in the United States. It's causing a lockdown in China, and the president has no money for it. So he's going to do another CR potentially to get a $2,000 stimulus check in there. We'll watch. Representative Raja Krishnamurthy says the biggest concern at the point is getting enough votes. Will we have enough votes? What will the bill look like? I'll track it as soon as it happens this coming week. She is a Democrat from Illinois. That is the latest on that CR. Then we look at that SS300. This is really compelling news. Jay Powell is trying to battle the rising inflation. 8% December, 8% January, not temporary. If they believe the 10-year Treasury note and those bond traders, they think it's higher. So what did Jay Powell do? Well, going into the month of March, in February, he said, I'll do a quarter basis point, and I'll stay with that if that works. And he did. That was last week at the FOMC meeting. Then after that, his Fed governors like Wallace and also Bullard said it's not strong enough. Need to do something stronger. Half basis point. So the latest comments from Jay Powell before the National Association of Business Economics this week says that he may come in stronger in the month of April. We will take the necessary steps to restore price stability. In particular, if it's more appropriate to move more aggressively by more than 25 basis points in several meetings, we will do so. We will do as needed. Translation. He didn't say he will, but many analysts think that he will. Here's what you need to know. Number one, whatever Jay Powell does is a 30-day rollout until it fixes the economy. So we're fine for Joe making that call right now in March. Swapping it out for COLA for inflation right now, we're good. How about early April? We're also good. Then what about late April? I think we're fine then, because whatever Jay Powell does, it takes about 30 days to float into the system. May, I don't know. May is a little bit more problematic, because if Jay Powell comes in very aggressively in April, you could get inflation down to potentially 6%, maybe 5%. Some analysts think. I don't agree. I don't think Jay Powell has the tools to get inflation down right at the moment, because inflation is being caused by that supply chain. But the other part of the equation, you got to watch. Jay Powell at that FOMC meeting changed. He said he was going to do 4% by the end of the year for inflation. Now he says 1.9. 1.9 is nothing, folks. That's $20 more for your benefits, not $100 more for your benefits. So you went hashtag Joe make the call. Joe made the call right now across the board. Now, let's go to the breaking news. Third stimulus, MSC checks, and fourth stimulus, $15,000 to $80,000 checks. First, let's go over the overview and then go over each of those checks one at a time. The overview is that if you're a renter or a homeowner, I got big checks for you. These are checks that have gone out, they have landed, the viewers have them, and Joe sent them out and the viewers have cashed them. They're absolutely incredible. First, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus, $15,000 to $80,000 of checks. I'm going to slow it down for you, so take notes, and if you remember, open that membership newsletter. The fourth stimulus Build Back Better bill in the Senate is still a bill. It's not law. But the president can do laws himself in the executive branch, and he did 4 Fridays ago. 4 Fridays ago, he announced this grant, the homeowner's grant, as I call it on this video, as a longer name. More about that in a second. It is $15,000 to $80,000. First, it's law. Second, the checks have gone out. Third, the viewers have gotten the checks. Fourth, you can get as well. I'm going to show you right now. Let's go over the money. The payout is $15,000 to $80,000. First. Number two, it's per household. So you don't double or triple it like a stimulus check. Number three, the income qualification is the same as a stimulus check. $75,000 or less, single individual, you can get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you qualify for it. Third, if you're on benefits, you can get it. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, you can get it. What is the last eligibility criterion? You are a homeowner. So if you're a homeowner, you're in the income zone, and you can get these big checks. So let's go over how you get these big checks. First, you want to become a member. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Second, you want to open that membership newsletter. It's sent to members via the YouTube alert system, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Open that YouTube alert and go right into the membership newsletter. And it'll feature first the oil, wheat, grain, and national price of gasoline today in that membership newsletter. Then the next line will be the full name of the grant. It's longer than the homeowner's grant. Then I'll have the income qualification we just went over. Next, I'll have what it pays for. Lots of great stuff like home repairs. Then I'll have a description of the program, how you get the money, and then, yes, the application link. This is an online application, not by phone, not by horse and buggy, online. You can do it on your phone. You could do it on a computer. You click the link, it sends you right into the federal application, which will then send you to the federal website, which will then send you to your state. And there you pounce. You pounce. You don't have to be behind on your bills, and you want to do it. First, it's a grant, meaning it's not an income. It's not taxable. If you're on benefits, it would not disqualify you because it's not income. It's also not a loan. There's no credit check. Third, it's first come, first serve. As soon as the president announced it 4 Fridays ago, no one covered the news. Anywhere. Repeat, anywhere. But my job is to give you every check that comes available, and I found it, and I immediately featured in the membership newsletter that night. It's been 4 weeks live, so understand, every state's eventually going to run out. You don't want to wait around. You want to call. You don't want to think about it too long. You want to pounce as a Purple Hawk and get these sums of money right today. So become a member like Rina did and the other person in the live chat did just minutes ago. Get that membership newsletter and go right in and apply. Every day that delays, thousands of people in your state get in front of you. And ultimately, states will run out of the funds. So you want to get that application on file. The members of this channel, boy, Mark got 66,000. Countless other viewers have gotten paid, and others have gotten their applications complete, which when they put them in, it says complete. It means they're going to get funded. Incredible. This is for homeowners. Now, you're a renter. I got money for you as well. It is something different. It's called Third Stimulus MSC. Third Stimulus MSC is actually for two groups. It's for renters, and yes, once again, it's for homeowners. You can get both of these sums of money. Remember, you can get duplicative items on this channel. Third Stimulus. Let's go over what this is. Third Stimulus MSC checks are in addition to that third stimulus check you got earlier in 2021 of $1,400. Yes, these are monthly stimulus checks. Let's go over the details. These third stimulus checks are averaging at $2,000 a month for 12 months. Oh boy. This is addition to everything else covered in this video. So it's addition to the fourth stimulus, which is still not law, the Build Back Better Act. It's more than those 6 checks. This is averaging at 12 checks. And where do you get it? Get a pen and paper ready, and if you're a member, even better. You're going to reach out to get these big checks, which are for things like rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. You need to pounce Purple Hawk and get these big sums of checks. And the viewers of this channel, big success stories across the board. Let's go over where you get these big sums of checks. You're going to reach out to a series of places, and if you're a member, you're going to have more opportunities and other places to reach out to. You ready? Here we go. You reach out to your city hall, your city house authority, and your county hall, and your county house authority. There's a series of keywords you're going to say. You ready? Here are the keywords. You're going to say rent assistance because of COVID. Then you're going to say utility assistance because of COVID or mortgage assistance because of COVID. The keywords are critical. You're not going to say other words. You're not going to say MSC check. You're going to say these keywords to get funded. Then there's 6 places you must reach out to. You must put multiple applications to file. Now, if you're a member, more about that second, you have more than 6 places to reach out to. And do multiple rounds? Well, let's stop right there. This is how the situation has changed dramatically. And let me tell you where we've come in such a short period of time. Where has this come from and how did it formulate? Unlike anything I've ever seen on this channel, this was invented by members. Wow. Let's take a step back of how to understand this became invented by members. In December 2020, in the thick of the pandemic, millions of viewers of this channel needed money. There was no second stimulus package. Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi didn't get it done. So I showed viewers how there was some money sitting around for these items, these same items. I trained them and they got it. There was not a lot of money, $250,000 at the time. But then in late December, I had one of the most important documents I ever had on this channel. It was a preview, an exclusive document of what was going to be a new bill from Joe Biden. I coined the expression. I called it third stimulus, just like I've coined the expression for fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh. You won't hear those expressions anywhere else. And I said, when this becomes law, you're going to get a lot of money from this. I said, on average, you're going to get about $15,000. And I said, the greatest news is that I'm training you how to get this money under this leftover of first stimulus, I guess you would call it. Well, when it became law, all those viewers were trained so well, they didn't get $15,000. They averaged $45,000. They got around that spring 3 to 4 months of these items like rent and utilities. Then over the summer, 3 to 4 more months. Then winter, 3 to 4 more months. And I was saying 3 to 4 months just a few days ago. And then what happened 2 weeks ago? Viewers, members of this channel said, you know what? Why do another round? Just do an MSC out of it. Suddenly, they thought of the idea to do 4 months? No, 12 months of checks. And it kept on coming in one after another. Viewer after viewer suddenly realized, wait a second, I can do a whole year of this. I don't have to do just 3 to 4 months of this. I can do a whole year of this. And the success stories started coming in early March. And by late March, the success stories kept on coming in more. Here's what happened. Viewers understood that I don't have to do a round of 3 to 4 months. I can do a whole year. And let me give you an example. On the March 25th, 2022 live broadcast of E! News LA at prime time, 3 viewers in the chat at the same time got collectively $100,000. If you're watching the March 25th evening's LA broadcast, America's most watched show in financial news in prime time, in the live chat, there were three people. Daniel, who is on SSI and SSDI, revealed he got $60,000 of MSC checks. He said, LA, I just got $60,000. Tell your viewers I'm on SSI and SSDI. Thank you for your help. Then we had Corey, also in live chat, getting $14,000, which was 14 months. Then we had William J., also in the live chat, getting 8 months at $10,000. In 3 minutes, 3 viewers in one live chat revealing nearly $100,000. That's not alone, because that was March 25th. What had happened on March 21st? Lindsay Ramirez getting 12 months of checks at $1,500 a month. More than Build Back Better proposes at all. She's getting rent at $1,000 and utilities at $500. It got even better. Also on March 21st, Olivia Summers, 48 months of checks, $150,000. Yes, folks, this is what viewers are doing. David Allen, member, getting 9 months at $1,500. Being a member, getting $16,000 of checks. Annabelle, member, getting 6 months of checks. Morticia getting checks. Earlier, just days before, the success stories were coming on in. March 15th, Johnny Horvathan getting $26,000 of MSC checks over 8 months. Then on March 14th, earlier than that, we had Brian Graves out of Toledo, Ohio, getting 8 months of checks. Success story after success story. So going back to that success story, members created this. I did not think that this was possible, and then they realized, why do just around 4 to 5 months? Take what LALATE has taught us and do a whole year, or in the case of Olivia Summers, 4 years of these checks, and pounce. And yes, the average payout has been $2,000 a month for 12 months. So let's continue with that incredible graphic and understand how to get those big checks. Let's continue right now. You're going to become a member if you can. Why does membership help you for this? Because in the case of membership, you'll get the nonprofits. Instead of just 6 places to reach out to, you'll have nearly 12.5 places to reach out to. And in that membership newsletter, you'll have, yes, the nonprofits, bringing you to nearly 12.5 places. Remember, rejection is good. You're going to get about a 50% rejection rate. So if you have 15 places to reach out to, expect 7 no's and 7 yeses. Don't stop because you got 1 no. No's are good. Do it today. Average view of this channel has gotten $45,000. Do it right today. And congratulations to all the incredible members and all the incredible viewers who have gotten on average $45,000. Don't wait. Get these big sums of money. They're available across the board. And that is, my friends, third stimulus MSC checks. Now, a lot of other breaking news. The other breaking news is that 6 stimulus. 6 stimulus will be the biggest stimulus package of a generation. Bigger than the first stimulus package of 2020. Bigger than the Obama-Biden stimulus package, which was the second largest package of a generation. That was back at day 1 of the Obama administration. What is 6 stimulus? It is Putin-caused stimulus. And boy, it's days like this that you're happy that you're watching this channel. Why? Because everything that I've been reporting for 2 months or a month and a half about 6 stimulus was confirmed by the President of the United States in less than 48 hours. Wow. 6 stimulus goes to a big head in April. First, let's go over when, then what it is, and then what the president said in the last 48 hours. 6 stimulus is for Putin. First stimulus was for COVID. Second was to be for COVID. Third was coming out of COVID. And fourth is coming out of COVID. But 6 is caused by Putin. Putin has caused economic disruption internationally. And to solve that economic disruption, oil, wheat, grain, the banking industry, defaults, and more. And Putin all caused that. And we don't have a solution with a 6 stimulus package, then guess what? We go into recession. Well, 6 stimulus gets a big date. What is that big date for 6 stimulus? It's early April. Why? Because 6 stimulus was created by the trifecta of France, Germany, and the United States. Let's go over the details right now. 6 stimulus first reported on this channel about March 8th, when we learned about it from Anthony Blinken. He had reached out to Germany and France saying, get off of Russian products. And they said, no, we're too dependent on it. We don't have a backup. They said, you must. And they said, okay, we'll do it, but we'll have to raise national debts. We'll have to provide stimulus or we go into recession. And that would teed up the 6 stimulus package. Again, the 6 stimulus package is a debt spending domestically and internationally between the progressive alliances of Germany, France, and the United States. Why is April a big day? Because that's when we find if the one of those three leaders is reelected. It's France's leader, Macron, German Chancellor Progressive, Biden Progressive, Francis Macron. He learns if he's reelected in April. If he does, then get ready for this big six stimulus package. So what is it? It involves international, national, and local. Let's go over the details of it right now. First, internationally, the agreement between this trifecta, progressives, France, Germany, and the United States, is that they will debt spend and then spend money on the citizens. Why? If you don't, they all go in recession because no one can afford the price of gasoline or the price of bread or any other problems across the board. Day one of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, I said that no one can afford $5 of gasoline at the pump. And if it stays that way into May, we go into recession. Well, guess what? We're not going to recession if six stimulus is passed because $5 of the gallon will stay there, but the federal government will give you money to afford it. That's the concept of it. And it's not just gasoline, it's wheat because you cannot afford $7 a loaf of bread. And that is why the federal government will give you money. Now let's go over the details of six stimulus before we go into the nuance, the generalities before we go into the nuances. Six stimulus will be Macron, Chancellor Germany, and Joe Biden in the United States, international. Then Joe Biden's doing something here nationally. Then you're also going to see, you're also going to see Congress doing stuff like they did last Friday, ridiculous joking stuff, where they said, we'll give you $100 checks to deal with your price of gasoline. That's a joke because no one's $100 check is going to pay for their gasoline for more than maybe one pump at the gas station. You need more than $100. So you're going to see that type of stuff coming along. You're also going to see state stimulus. Yes, state governors have already talked about giving you money to afford to not go under because of gasoline. I'm not going to cover the state, but I will cover Biden and the international implications across the board. The great news, huge news, is that everything that I've been reporting for 1 month on this channel about six stimulus was confirmed by the White House in less than 48 hours. Wow. I've been reporting oil, I've been reporting wheat, I've been reporting G, and all three were confirmed by the White House in the last 48 hours. That's why you want to tune this channel. Let's go over what the White House has confirmed in the last 48 hours on each of those fronts. Number one, in Brussels, the United States confirmed that it will be providing a big solution, U.S. LNG. Yes, the White House will be providing natural gas to our partner allies so that they can get off of Russian LNG. Let me tell you part of the equation. In getting off of Russian products, one of the big products is natural gas. And so in Brussels, the White House, Joe Biden did a great deal. The deal involves through 2030, yes, a lot of years, the White House will have U.S. producers of LNG provided to our partner allies overseas. Decades of LNG giving big money to our manufacturers in the United States and their workers in exchange for the partner allies using our LNG, not Vladimir Putin. It's big. It'll also involve, in fact, even a commissioner that will oversee it. That's number one. Big detail confirmed by the White House overseas overnight. The day before in Brussels, the president confirming of the wheat crisis. Wow. The president understood that the wheat crisis is very big. Why? Because wheat is not able to be grown in the Black Sea because the farmers are defending their country against Vladimir Putin. Let's go to the analysis. Wheat is grown in the United States, but the price of wheat is going through the roof, and that wheat is going through the roof. So guess what? We need to solve the solution. And Joe Biden gave the step one to the solution. He got a deal in Brussels where the U.S. will provide our wheat to our partner allies in the Middle East and Asia so that they are not going to starve. Huge detail for this. Again, confirming prong two of this channel's recordings on six stimulus. Now, the president needs to go a little bit further than this. Let me explain to you why. It's featured tonight on Evenings LA in prime time. You want to watch that show. Big show tonight at 5 o'clock. The farmers in the United States, are they making hand over fist money? No, they're losing their shirts. Why? Farmers' revenues have gone through the roof because there's less wheat. They're selling their wheat for more money. So they're making a lot of more money on the revenue side. But they're losing their shirt because their costs are going through the roof. You can guess this one. Yes, number one, their price of gasoline to drive the truck is going through the roof. So suddenly they may have more revenue. The price of gasoline to drive the tractor trailer is going through the roof. That's number one. Number two, their fertilizer is going through the roof. Fertilizer normally would come from Vladimir Putin. He's the biggest fertilizer producer in the world. That is not a joke. It could be a joke on Light Night, but it's not a joke in this recording. And so they're spending a lot more money to make that money. They're actually losing money compared to a month before. So Joe Biden needs to do a little bit more on this front as well. Number three, the third part of six stimulus confirmed by Janet Yellen overnight. In a major interview, Janet Yellen was asked, is Xi part of the equation? She basically confirmed he is, but not yet. Let me tell you what's going on. Vladimir Putin reached out to the leader of China, Xi, asking for money to avoid default for Russia. And China would not give the money yet, but also refused to tell the White House that it would never give the money. So what was Janet Yellen's comment? She's your Treasury Secretary. She was asked whether this is a concern. She said it is a concern, but she said it's not happening just yet, obviously. Xi has not given any money to Russia yet, obviously. And so we aren't sanctioning Russia. But what's part of the equation? What's part of the equation is that if Xi gives one penny to Russia, he will get his country sanctioned. And that could send us in recession. Yes, very troubling across the board. Now, let's turn to seven stimulus. Seven stimulus, very fascinating. Student loan debt forgiveness. Wow. Let's take a step back in just a second, but first let me tell you the big update. Student loan debt forgiveness is now teed up for May 2nd. Why? The President's Chief of Staff, Ron Klain, confirms that student loan debt forgiveness will be decided by May 2nd. There's two possibilities of what will happen on May 2nd, says Ron Klain. Number one, either the President will forgive student loan debt, yes, or he's going to roll this over a few more days. The situation is the following. You've not had to repay student loan debts because of a moratorium, a freeze, because of COVID. That freeze is over, yes, on May 2nd. So the president will decide on this by May 2nd. Forgive it or not forgive it. Now, let me tell you the breaking news today. The Obama education secretary is coming out in a new series of comments saying that the president should do it and legally can do it in the executive branch. Let me tell you the analysis. You missed it from yesterday, from May 25th. A new series of analyst reports says that Obama put in place the executive branch legal authority for Biden to do this. And then if Biden does do student loan debt forgiveness, then what happens? Someone will try to undo it. Who? Republicans in Congress. And guess what? They don't have enough people to pass an overdue of it. So Biden should do the student loan debt forgiveness because, one, he has the legal authority for it. Two, he has the support among his Democrats, like Obama's education secretary. And number three, there's no one to undo it because Republicans don't have enough votes. Wow. Now, that is May 2nd. Where does it land? Let me go over the details on that. Student loan debt forgiveness was supposed to be $50,000. So said Liz Warren and Chuck Schumer. Day one of the Biden administration, they had asked for $50,000 student loan debt to be forgiven. Biden said no. His last offer was $5,000. So what do I think is going to happen? I think he's going to do it. If not on May 2nd, then sometime thereafter. Wow. Finally, some surprises, some great news for you. This channel launched on April 25th, 2020. As we approach our 2-year anniversary, we've learned so much. We've learned so well. Day one of this channel was all about pouncing. Pouncing and getting your money. Pouncing and getting that EIDL grant. Viewers got $10,000. Pouncing and getting that EIDL loan. Viewers got an average of $150,000. They made the initiative. They made the initiative to get the money. When third stimulus was in preview, I said to the viewers, when this becomes law in 2021, you're going to be the first to get this money like a hawk, like a purple hawk. You're going to pounce and get this money. That was the expression I created on this channel. Pouncing like a hawk to get the money because it's first come, first serve. Wow, amazing. 2 years later, we're coming right back to where we started. You're pouncing as a purple hawk because you're pouncing getting these big sums of money from third stimulus. We're not sitting around. We're not sitting on our hands. We're pouncing and getting these third stimulus MSC checks. And you're becoming a member. You're going to the top of the chat and you're reaching out to nonprofits. You're pouncing in these big checks. Fourth stimulus. We're not waiting around for Build Back Better Act. We're getting those $15,000 to $80,000 checks as homeowners. We're pouncing and becoming members, going to the top of the chat and becoming a member and getting our application on file right today as quickly as we can. And if you just became a member, well, that membership newsletter comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. But there's a big surprise. As detailed last night on Eve's LA, I have a big surprise for you then. As I said, this weekend, for one weekend only, I'll be delivering the membership newsletter also one day on the weekend. And I said you'd have to tune into a recording to find out what day that weekend special, one-time only edition of the newsletter is, which helps people like Rena, who just became a member, because now she won't have to wait till Monday to apply. She can apply over the weekend. So when is that extra one-time only membership newsletter on the weekend going to come? It's going to come Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. So the huge news is that for one time only, a weekend edition of the newsletter will be delivered this Sunday, March 27th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. So become a member. The link's at the top of the chat and pin comment. The YouTube alert system sends it out at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. And this Sunday, for one time only, it'll also be delivered on Sunday. And with that, I really want to congratulate. I want to congratulate you because you have pounced as a Purple Hawks. You have done it so well. Creating the MSC checks, a third stimulus, pouncing and getting to those big $15,000, $80,000 checks, like Mark, who got $60,000 from this homeowner grant after he got $100,000 as well. Pouncing, getting all these big sums of money, and now salivating, ready for the sixth stimulus in April, as early as April. Salivating for that determination from Joe Biden about student loan debt forgiveness on May 2nd. Salivating, ready to pounce for the big push for that SS300 and pushing on social media with hashtag Joe Make the Phone Call. That's a true spirit of this channel, pouncing as a Purple Hawk. Join me next at noontime at 11 a.m. and then we go into our afternoon shows at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then a big brand new Evenings LA in prime time tonight. You don't want to miss this show. It's a big show with a lot of checks. It's brand new tonight. Evenings LA, America's most watched show in prime time for financial news. 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock East, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And with that, stay informed, stay focused. The toast was toasted, the butter was buttering, and the coffee was brewing. And those third MSE checks and fourth stimulus checks for homeowners were landing as well. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.